Just one thing you mentioned before about it's been poor all season. One thing I do want to talk about, this didn't start 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago or whatever. The first game of this season, something looked off.
Yeah.
That Wolves game was
we were
weird.
all a bit laughing about it. It's a little bit mad.
They're still on pre-season. It was weird to watch. Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. My name is Joe and that is Stephen Howson. And today we are looking at what has gone wrong under Erik Ten Hag this season.
Some. It's only a short video.
It's only going to be a short video. We're going to rattle through it. There's a lot that's gone wrong. We've got a few different categories. We're going to be looking at the things out of his control, the things within his control, and maybe some of the things that might have pushed his tenure past the point of no return.
Well, I know where we're starting.
Yeah.
We're starting with that IT department.
No, we're not starting with the IT department. It's an absolute filthy state by the looks of what Jim Ratcliffe's got to say about it.
I like that. That's standards.
So what is that then, just for people who don't know? Jim Ratcliffe went round
Walked in. I don't know if he white gloved it or not. He's getting basic training vibes going in.
Across the top like that.
Yeah. Don't know if it made him leopard crawl around the outside of Old Trafford. That'd be hanging.
Yeah.
But yeah, he walked in and he's gone, basically just bollocked everyone because it wasn't clean enough.
Yeah.
Love it.
But
details, Joseph, details.
Well, we're going to get into the details, and very little of it is based around what Ineos have done, because so far we're still piecing together the Ineos team. Half of them aren't even here yet.
Yeah, I think they're still doing induction.
Yeah, stuff's still going on. So I think one place to start, we're going to look at tactics, we're going to look at his man management, we're going to look at the sort of intangibles. I think one place to start is injuries, because that has been certainly Ten Hag's biggest defence of what we've seen this season. In that interview with Gary Neville, he's mentioned it a few other times as well. United's injuries have been horrendous this season, no question about it. United's players have missed a combined 353 matches between them this season so far.
It's like a whole Premier League season.
Yeah, of all the teams.
Of all the teams, yeah.
Yeah. We've had, I think, something in the region of 35 defensive setups. We've had something in the region of 14 centre-back partnerships this season. It has been a staggering number of injuries.
Still a couple of games to go.
Still a couple of games to go. We're probably going to see a new one because I think Casemiro might be getting dropped. So you might be seeing Scott McTominay playing next to
Amrabat Evans.
It could literally be anything. So I'll go through some information and data in a minute. But before that, just what's your kind of overall take on the injury situation? Do you think it's playing a big factor, and why do you think it's happening?
Why do I think it's happening? Don't know. A lot of people are saying, oh, bad coaching. Okay, cool. Well, there's people like Phil Jones that Sir Alex Ferguson had. Was Sir Alex Ferguson a bad coach for Phil Jones's injury proneness?
Yeah.
Was he a bad coach for Louis Saha's injury proneness? Injury prone players exist. Now, there's ways of mitigating injury proneness. When Van Persie was signed, he was on his individual training regime, which and played 38, started 37, came off the bench for one, played 38 Premier League games that season, by the way, Robin Van Persie. David Moyes comes in. Did he play half of that? Just over half of that?
Yeah.
Why? Because David Moyes made him do what everybody else was doing. So I wonder, does there have to be a little bit of agency with the players where they're allowed to, I need to do this for myself? Do we need to give them that maturity as professional athletes to be able to manage their own workload and regime? It feels like players have been brought back from injury out of desperation and requirement, like Johnny Evans isn't fit.
No.
Meanwhile, get on the bus, son, because you're playing, because there's no other centre-halves. I think that has probably, the amount of injuries has led to the amount of injuries.
Yeah.
Like, it's a catch-22 situation. Like, no one's fit, so you better get fit and get playing. Like, I'm not fit, though. And then why'd you get injured?
You're more fit than they are,
why did I get injured?
Playing.
Well, I wasn't fit.
Yeah.
Right. So, I think that's probably compounded what the issue was anyway. I think there's got some players that are injury-prone. Malacia could be one. Yeah. Luke Shaw for sure is one. Anthony Martial is the front cover of the textbook about being injury prone. So I think you've got that playing into it. I think you've also got a fallout of last season a little bit. World Cup in the middle.
Yeah.
We played very much the same team through that excellent run that we had.
Just on that, we've got a few numbers on last season. United played over 60 games last season. In all competitions, it was 62 games, which we could only have possibly played 3 more if we'd have played the semi-finals and final of the Europa League. That would have been every single possible game to be played. And certain instances, like look at the Europa League last season, because we lost that first home game to Real Sociedad, we were playing catch-up with them throughout the entire group stage, which meant we had to play our first-choice team in the sort of dead rubber easy games to guarantee wins. You know, Ten Hag didn't really rotate in the cups, he didn't really rotate in the league, and you had 62 games, almost, like we said before, the full complement of games, and most of the first-team players played most of those games when they could. The seasons before that as well, you mentioned there's also a World Cup in the middle that Rafael Varane got to the final of and immediately retired from international football after because it was too much for him. You know, the season before that, only 49 games, bliss. Under Ole, it was 61 games in 2021 and 61 games in 1920 as well, with a season broken up by COVID. A lot of those players who were still there had to come back in that weird, like, June, July time to finish off the Europa League.
Trading bubbles.
Yeah, and a final that we lost. The workload over the last few seasons has been very, very high. Almost you're pushing sort of maximum levels, really.
It's been very high, and people will go, well, City are playing something.
Yeah.
City got 2 squads.
Yeah.
Even Liverpool, I can name you 2 midfields, 2 forward lines. You can't at United.
Yeah.
You know, and is that down to the squad management? Yeah, it is, yeah. It's not necessarily down to Ten Hag, though. Every manager would want more players. Every manager will want extra. Get me them. Look how many loans we've signed the last couple of years.
Yeah.
You know, they've really propped up what is a creaky old boat.
Yeah.
And obviously we lost one of them in a regular job. He would have played every game since Christmas.
Do you know how many loans and free transfers that aren't backup keepers Man City have signed since Pep got there?
Must be one.
It's one. It's Aaron Moy, who they got on a free from Melbourne City, who are owned by City. Ten Hag, 40% of his transfers have been loans or free transfers. So we're always in that, we've run out of cash, we're desperate, just get someone quick thing. Do you think...
And by the nature, loans and free transfers, not the best player in your squad.
No, and they're also probably not the most motivated player in your squad because they're not going to be here next season.
Got an house yet? No.
No, of course, I'm still...
Haven't got a membership for Greg's? You're mad.
Exactly. Just on the sort of injury front, we've got a new guy who's come in. I think it's Gary O'Driscoll, his name is. And he's coming from Arsenal at the end of last season, or at the end of last year, to try and kind of get to the bottom of what is going on. And he started a review to look at why we're getting so many injuries. He's meant to be, I think he's working British Cycling.
Has he taken the swords
Saracens.
away from him in training?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. No more blades on the booze.
Medieval Wednesdays have got to go, lads.
What? The jousting, what is this?
It's team spirit building. Everyone likes a mace.
But do you think that, he's been here since last year, do you think that maybe it is just bad luck? Or do you think we're going to uncover something that will sort of click and this is going to change for the next manager if it isn't Ten Hag?
Bad luck feels like an absolute cop-out. No, I think it's a combination we have got players whose personality is I want to play every game.
Yeah.
You know, I think Rashford's one of those who wants to play every single game, and I know that he's played on through injuries. I know that he tried to hide a broken fucking back.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think his agency and I don't think the club have done him a favour there. He needs to be told. I think sometimes players have to be told for their own. You can't be like, well, he said he wanted to play. Of course he did. He's a footballer.
Yeah.
That's their jam. They kind of like that shit. So someone needs to go, no, he's got a broken fucking back, mate. Like, you're not playing.
Just another thing on injuries. I was thinking this last night after the Palace game. People will always say, obviously injuries are going to have an effect, but, and then talk about tactics, but you can't be this bad. When we talk about that, I feel like people pretend that they think injuries will have an effect, but actually don't allow for that in how they sort of talk about the results across the season. So, for instance, last season, I think we've had a lot more injuries than last season, certainly in those clustered areas of left back and centre back. So I would expect us to have probably earned less points than last season. Do you think there's a sort of a number that you allow for really, or do you think that actually people don't allow for injuries, they just say they do to kind of acknowledge it and then move on and still assume you should finish top 4? Or do you think, no, actually it's fair enough that we should have earned somewhere in the region of 12 points less than last season because of these injuries? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, but no. I don't think that there's a number that you are allowed. I don't think it's like a lifeline on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah.
I don't think you get specifics. I think everything is dependent. And a lot of it is on intangible stuff and unquantifiable stuff like feeling. What's your feeling about Manchester United at the moment?
It's not good.
It's fucking desperate, Joe.
Yeah.
So I would say, look, 1998 we lost the title to Leeds. No, we didn't. It was Arsenal. I ate them both. I've just got Leeds in my head because of Alfie Haaland and Roy Keane, because we lost Roy Keane to his ACL injury against Leeds. And we lost Erik Cantona to retirement in the summer of 97. So you take Erik Cantona and Roy Keane out of Manchester United and a team that was very good in 1997 and really, really good in 1999, doesn't win the league in 1998. Because there's more to it than those two missing. But the simple factor is, you didn't have a Cantona, Sheringham wasn't Cantona, and you didn't have Roy Keane. You didn't win the league. Now, obviously, that was a moment in... You win that, you win 6 titles on the bounce.
Yeah.
But we didn't win that. So it's hard to quantify what do you accept with injuries, because injuries have an effect. Recruitment and the players are the most important. Good players will do better than average players that are well coached and good tactics. Just having better players, because otherwise, everyone tells me Pep's this amazing coach, but the guy spent like $2 billion on players. So it's a bit of both, at least, isn't it?
I think he spent more than any other coach in the history of football on players.
Yeah, I think he spent more on defence than America.
Yeah.
So, he's probably a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But if it was all down to coaching, the transfer market wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And if it was all down to transfers, the transfer market would be even more key than it is at the moment, which is very key. I don't know if there's people looking for a quick answer on, well, what are the circumstances in which you have to go, this is acceptable and this isn't acceptable. Sadly, I think it comes down to feeling. And yours might be different to mine, might be different to everybody else who's watching this, and they're no less valid. They're just your feelings on it. And I think the Crystal Palace game, let's take that as a singular one-off example. Did injuries affect that result of that game? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But were there things that happened in that game that are completely fucking unacceptable, taking into account the injuries? Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the issue therein, because you can't just say, well, you just said the reason we lost against Crystal Palace was injuries. I did. However, there's more to it than that. Like, we spoke about it last night, and some people, as often the case on Twitter, just don't get what's being said. People, it's not like he had a load of options. No, it wasn't like he had a fully fit fucking Lissandro Martinez sucking a lollipop on a bench and was like, actually, Casemiro, come on down. But after the first half, when it had gone drastically wrong, and Casemiro looks like he's got a bet on himself for how much he can 2-foot someone. Yeah. That's where you change it. Bring him back into midfield. Try Amrabat at centre-half. Try Louis Jackson at centre-half. No, we don't want 17, 18-year-old lads getting absolutely rinsed. We don't want that. And you don't want to ruin their confidence, because one bad game could be them done at that level of their career. But much like we'd seen the Garnacho, Rashford, Højlund, Bruno, Casemiro, Mainu midfield 20 times, it feels like, 15, 20 times, and you know exactly what's going to happen. We know exactly what's going to happen with that defence. Can we just see something different? Can you give us the hope? Yeah. Because at the moment, I don't have the hope. We're going into this final against Manchester City in a couple of weeks. I have no hope of us winning it. Like, I spoke about this on 5 Things this morning, and I said, right now, I give Manchester United 5% chance of winning that. Right. Are you willing to go higher than 5% chance?
I would go slightly higher, but not much higher. You're giving him a 1 in 20 chance there. I would probably go to 10%. I think 1 in 10. But,
what the hell gives you the confidence of 1 in 10?
Just that City aren't always amazing in finals, and we can't be this bad, which is just sort of anti-logic. I get that.
But Ten Hag already told you with the interview that he did with Gary Neville, he ain't changing shit.
But then, longer, across the long period, he won't. But he did it against Liverpool at Anfield. He did it against City at Old Trafford, I think, where we sat back and played more counter-attacking style. It didn't get us a win in either of those games, but it was the first time Liverpool didn't score at Anfield in 50-odd games, and we weren't a million miles away from City, although it wasn't close. So he does change on the fly, or in certain games sometimes. He just doesn't change for months on end.
I don't mean to hammer you here, but your evidence for that we might be able to win it and that he might change it is two instances where he changed it and we didn't win.
No, but it's not that we won't win it. It's that he might change his tactics. We beat Liverpool in other games this season, haven't we? And they've not beat us at all, or they've only beat us once under Ten Hag. I just mean he might change his tactics, and it could work, is what I mean. Not that he has, and it has, but he's done one before, so he
Let me
might
ask
do it
you a
again.
hypothetical.
Yeah.
Ten Hag no longer believes in himself, and or Jim Radcliffe has drove up this morning and gone on your fucking bike.
Yeah.
And they brought Ollie in just for the final.
Yeah.
You know that Ollie's got a way of rousing the troops. He's done that in the past. You won't have Carrick and McKenna, which I think people massively underrated their time here. But he does have a way of playing against Pep. Are you still at 10%? Or could I tempt you to be moved left or right?
I think it could be slightly higher, but then also that's just because you've got part of it's because you've got a new manager in there. There'll be other people who see Ollie come back and go, what are we doing as a club? We sacked this guy 18 months ago, and now he's our best option for the biggest game we've had in 5-6 years. Like, I don't know. I think it's one step forward, one step back for me.
Might be correct, but would you be higher or lower?
Maybe slightly higher.
But isn't that quite telling?
It is. But then we've got the job of replacing Ten Hag afterwards.
And to be fair, for balance, I think Jose Mourinho doing the same job for a one-off game.
Yeah.
Probably successful.
Just
probably more successful than what I think Ten Hag's going to be.
Yeah. Just to move on a little bit then.
Doesn't mean I want either back.
You talked about tactics sort of by virtue of what you're saying about the Palace game there and what we saw. Do you think this tactical thing is going to kill him? Because before he came, he was known as a tactician. He was known as a meticulous, detail-oriented, sort of nerdy, sciencey kind of football guy. Now he's being described as, we're being described as the worst tactically set up team in the league. We're talking about the huge gaps in midfield. We're talking about all these sorts of tactical errors and issues. What has changed, and why has it changed? As far as, from what you can make out.
The big change from last season to this season is how open we are. What the reasons for wanting to be more open are, and what we were trying to do, I don't know.
Right.
Because I don't think we've seen a complete performance from United once this year. I think you could argue we've seen 3 good performances. I think Crystal Palace at home.
Yeah.
Was that in the League Cup?
Yeah, and they played the reserves. But we've got...
Joe, I'm taking it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I think Chelsea at home.
Yeah, decent.
I think maybe one of the Spurs.
I think the first half against Wolves was the best we've been all season, but the second half wasn't very good.
Is this the first game of the season?
No, the second one. The one where Mainu scored the winner in the 90th minute because we collapsed. But the first half of that game, exceptional. I know. Yeah.
So, we've had 3.5 performances.
Yeah, I know.
In how many games would you do this year? 50?
Yeah, I think we played 49 at the minute. 48.
Okay. That isn't good enough.
No.
And if I give you the mitigation of you haven't got your first choice players available to play, well, let's roll it back to, I don't know, any fucking season you want.
Yeah.
Andy Cole broke his leg. Roy Keane did his ACL. Cantona just fucked off.
Yeah.
Account for that.
Yeah.
You can't account for that. You can't account for anything that... David Beckham breaks his meta-fucking-tarsal. Wayne Rooney breaks his playing international football. Things happen.
Yeah.
You have to be able to adapt. Last season, let's not change history. Last season, it was good. And people, I can see you already starting to comment, Marcus Rashford scored 30 goals. Yeah, cool. He plays for Manchester United, he's allowed, right?
Yeah.
Like,
that's a good thing. To be praised, not as a weakness. Yeah.
He got the best out of some of his players. There was obviously things that we were trying to do. This season, it just hasn't happened at all. So either you've got to be less rigid with your plan, or your plan has to change. Because if your plan can only work when all 11 jigsaw pieces are present and fit, I don't know how often you get to play that in the Premier League.
Yeah,
I think the Premier League is a little bit like boxing. I don't know if anyone's truly uninjured when they step into the ring.
The one thing I would say to that is, I think even if Ten Hag had all his 11 players fit every single game this season, let's say the whole squad was fit every game, I still think we've got the 4th best squad in the league. So that would be even if we played up to our best and everyone was fit, I think Arsenal are better than us. I think City and I think Liverpool, when they turn it on, are better than us. So I think, barring luck or Liverpool being very poor or Arsenal dropping off, I think fourth would have been the standard anyway, let alone absolutely decimated consistently throughout the whole season. No left backs available for pretty much all of it. First choice centre backs available for like 5 games out of the 48. I do think that there's a difference between everyone being fit and therefore the squad even being good enough, and not even that, and everyone's injured. Just one thing you mentioned before about it's been poor all season. One thing I do want to talk about, this didn't start 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago or whatever. The first game of this season, something looked off.
Yeah.
That Wolves game was
we were
weird.
all a bit laughing about it. Fucking hell, it's a little bit mad, isn't
they're
it?
still on pre-season. It was weird to watch.
Because pre-season wasn't.
Yeah.
Pre-season was very controlled, possession-based performances.
Until the Dortmund game.
Until Mainoo's injured.
Until Vegas. And it got a bit...
It's Vegas.
But I was thinking, what could that be? There were reports at the time that the training was too hard, and that paired with the loads of flights.
But
and
also, if you remember, in all the games,
yeah,
the B team looked better.
That's true, except the Wrexham one, where they looked poor.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
that was a real B team.
Yeah. Yeah, the team that wasn't meant to be the best team looked better. We saw sort of Sancho playing as a number 9, kind of false 9 thing, which he never did once the season started. I want to talk about Sancho, and I want to talk about the pre-season and Greenwood just a little bit. So pre-season, a lot of games and a lot of travelling, more importantly, and done in a weird way where you're getting further and further away from England and then coming all the way back to start a week later.
Let's maximise the jet lag. Well done, lads.
Yeah, rather than starting further away and making your way back to England to minimum. There were reports of these heavy training sessions, double training sessions. That's one point. The other one is the Sancho situation, which last season he's gone away for 3 months, which we all sort of put down as like Ten Hag, man management, this is a good idea, Sancho needs to get his head right. But on the other hand, I've never seen a coach sort of banish a player from the country for 3 months. Ever. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that. And it clearly hasn't helped the relationship between Ten Hag and Sancho, because they've since fallen out again publicly. He's gone to Dortmund and will likely be sold in the summer. So that didn't work. Maybe it couldn't have possibly worked. I don't know. And thirdly, the weird performances in pre-season and the start of the season coincided with Mason Greenwood, internal rumours, he's coming back. Everyone knows he's coming back. Huge public backlash, all of a sudden, U-turn, he's not.
No, he plays for Getafe.
No, he plays for Getafe. Clearly Ten Hag wanted him back. Clearly the players were willing to accept him back, otherwise he wouldn't have been. Those 3 things, do you think they are playing a role in why Wolves was bad and why Forest was bad and why it's not? Because from the first game of the season, players looked like pissed off and moody and weird around each other.
Do they impact the Crystal Palace game? Jesus Christ, you'd hope not. And you also forgot the Anthony saga, because
that's another one.
I've said this a few times, and some people in the comments are quite correct. I don't know this is the case, but I'm assuming. So I haven't said this is the case. I've said I'm assuming.
This is your opinion.
Yeah, this is my opinion. I've never said otherwise. But people are kicking off at me for having an opinion. Like, I'm not just gonna go, well, nothing happened, and then Sancho seeing his arse.
Yeah.
I think there was a spark for him seeing his arse, and I think the spark was him playing Anthony over him. Now, some people are going, Sancho wanted to play left wing. Okay, well, I think Marcus earned the right to play left wing after last season.
You're not playing there over a 30-goal Rashford. You're not.
So, thank you. I think that there's logic, at least, behind what I think happened. What do you think happened? I'm going to tell you what I think happened. I'm not sitting here saying, Joe, here's what happened. Now, I do know there's other things that haven't come out about why he went away.
What, last season?
Yes, when he went away to Holland.
Okay.
Or the Netherlands. My belief is, and my take on what happened with him going to the Netherlands was excellent man management.
Okay.
Actually. And if you look at the big dutty grin on Sancho's face when he came back from that and was given a substitute appearance, that tells me that was the correct thing to do.
Right.
Now, I think they fell out again.
Okay.
I think there was another incident. I think I don't think a thing happened, I think things happened. And what we've seen publicly is Sancho banished, if you want to call it that. Sancho smiling coming on the pitch. Ten Hag seeing his ass after the Arsenal game and telling the public what had happened. Sancho seeing his ass with what Ten Hag said after he'd seen his ass. Sancho moved to Dortmund.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the entirety of what happened.
No.
I think there's probably 15 different things between every single one of those points. And I think it was a gaffer that had enough. I think he tried, and I don't think he could talk him round, and I think he was probably becoming a distraction. Is Sancho the reason we lost to Palace? No, at all. It's a different thing. But I do wonder, though, sometimes how many... Is it the straw that broke the camel's back?
That's what I mean.
You know, you had an issue with Varane,
Yeah.
and it got resolved. You had an issue with Rashford, it got resolved. You had another issue with Rashford, another disciplinary issue with Rashford, where he's fucked off to Belfast. Seemingly got resolved. Haven't heard anything else on that. But you've got players stepping out of line. Now, that's not to say under Sir Alex they didn't step out of line, because they did. They absolutely did. Young 20-year-old lads with all the money in the fucking world are going to step out of line from time to time. It happens. Roy Keane was arrested the fucking week of the FA Cup final, 1999.
Love that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no, okay, might not have been his fault.
Just so Dennis Rodman, that, innit?
But, like, it happened.
Yeah.
And it's mad to me now that it was like, why the club sent Fergie, pretty visual Fergie, to go get him from, it was Bootle Street, police station. Why not just send the club lawyer? Why does Fergie have to, like, what fucking movie is this? Where the actual manager of Manchester United goes to bail out the fucking captain before the FA Cup final. Insane. But happened. So the social media 24-hour news cycle world requires us to make more of these things than probably would have happened during the past. And that's without getting into George Best, right? Or Norman Whiteside, or Mark Hughes, or every other fucking footballer that's ever played for this football club. Especially Ryan Giggs. So you think about all of the things that have happened in the past.
Yeah.
Is Ten Hag dealing with more or less? It's probably about par for the course.
Yeah.
You listen to any old, like if you listen to Under the Cosh and just realise every footballer's a bell.
Yeah.
Every footballer's trying to get away with murder. Every footballer's trying to go out all the fucking time. You know, I listened to a great one yesterday with Lee Trundle, and he's talking about how often you're going on a piss, and he's like, well, it's not every night.
Yeah.
Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Saturday after a game. Sometimes on a third. Like
Everyone does it. And I was on, I did a little phone in on TalkSport, and they rang me up, and I was talking to, I can't remember who it was now, it doesn't really matter, but it was two former Premier League players, I think it might have been Carlton Cole and Jamie O'Hara, something like that. And they were talking about Rashford going out in Belfast. And they said, well, you know, we might have done a bit like that, but you play for Manchester United. And I said to him, but you did it. You know, did you not have the standards to play for Man United then? Is that what you're admitting? Or are you saying that he should have just done it and got away with it? Because even the people who are now criticising Sancho's and Rashford's for doing these things did it themselves when they were in the same position. And it's like, that's just what footballers and young men and people do.
Wait till you find out about Dwight York.
Yeah. Like, so do you think then that he's not handled it well? Or do you think that it's... what is it?
I just think he's had a lot to handle. He's had the Maguire situation.
Yeah.
And he's had the Anthony situation.
Yeah.
On top of the Greenwood, Sancho, Rashford, Varane. And then in the midst of this, you've got Casemiro just deciding he's not going to be a footballer anymore.
Yeah.
Like, not publicly, but let's be honest, he's playing like he's decided he's not going to be a footballer anymore. Mm-hmm. On top of the injuries, on top of the absolute hatred for the ownership, the takeover.
Yeah.
What?
No January transfers either year.
Yeah. The fucking roof leaking. What more could you have fucking flung at him that he's had to deal with? And then, oh, by the way, yeah, you got Cristiano Ronaldo, only the most famous person on the planet, is talking to some fucking bell about what's going on at the club and how the tiles haven't been changed in 20 years.
Yeah.
Just, how much do you want one fella to deal with? But doesn't excuse him allowing and seemingly not being asked that we concede more fucking shots a game than teams that get relegated.
Well, not just teams that get relegated. Since the start of the year, we've conceded 20 more shots than Sheffield United, and they have conceded the most goals in the 38-game Premier League history. Like, this isn't just like, oh, you know, Sheffield United have conceded the most goals of anyone ever in the league, and we've conceded more shots than them this year. That's, like, astonishing.
I don't remember, I mean, what, are we -3 on a goal difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember us ever even having neutral. I've always remember us having a positive goal. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't remember us ever having even like how?
No.
How are you like? How are we 36 games in the season? We don't have a plus somewhere on the goal. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So has he had a lot to do with? Yeah. And I'll reuse this phrase until I'm blue in the face. It's not his fault, but it is his responsibility.
Yeah. So you were saying last night, and I don't know what your thoughts on it now. Obviously, things can be different after games. You think he's done at United? There's been reports today that he's not going to get sacked till after the FA Cup, no matter what, Van Gaal or what. But that doesn't mean that he's definitely going to get sacked, even if we win or lose that game. But he won't.
Definitely going to stay.
Or definitely going to stay. But he won't. We won't know until the FA Cup final. Taking it all into account, and last season and this season, do you think that he should lose his job for how bad we've been this season? Because it is only this season that he's going to lose his job on, isn't it?
Like I said to you in the review last night, he needs to sit down with Wilcox, Barada, Ashworth, fucking Brailsford, Ratcliffe, Lance Armstrong, if you want to get him in, just for a laugh. Yeah, Blanc, forgot about him. Anyone.
Yeah.
And it would like the guy that sits in North Stand, him.
Okay.
Get him in. Anybody. Albert the Kitman, he seems to show up at everything. Mm-hmm. Get him involved, right? He needs to sit down with some people and he needs to ask some questions. It's not filmed. It's not a press conference. Dig some people out here if you have to. He's let me down. Don't know what the fuck he does. My analysis hasn't been great. Physios have fucked us. Whatever it is, be real, be ruthless, be honest. But then be honest when they go, are you fucking serious? Like this massive gap. The amount of shots that we're conceding. Does that get fixed with Lisandro Martinez back in the team? Yes. Or no. Whatever the answer is. But like, you've got to be able to, there's got to be a list of questions and there has to be some answers. And there has to be, right then, we need to be... It's that David Moyes tweet, innit? Yeah. United need to be better at like defending, set pieces, creating chances, transitioning. Just like, it was everything. Yeah.
It's just better at football.
So how do, okay, so right now we concede more shots than the worst team in Premier League history. Correct? Yeah, that's true. All right, cool. How do we not do that next year? Well, you tell me how we now concede. Can we do less than 10? Yeah. Can we do less than 8? Yeah. Can we get to somewhere in that kind of ballpark where it's just a lot less than the 3 times what Arsenal are conceding on target right now? Can we do that? Okay, cool. Okay, that's fine. How do we better transit? What are we going to be better on the transition? What 2, 3, 6 things? Tell me what they are, and tell me why we're better on the transition with your solutions. Are we better? Are we going to get Højlund on the ball more? Yeah, we've signed this guy. He's got like a 25% strike rate, pretty good, pretty legit, pretty elite. Scores 1 in 4 shots. Can we get him some more fucking shots? Yeah,
he gets 0 shots per game.
Yeah, like if the number of games he's come off with 0 shots is way too high. Yeah, like that whole team should be embarrassed. Play Fergie's tape. If you don't pass him the ball, you won't fucking play. Okay, so Fergie had issues with that. His solution was threaten him, right? Yeah. Pass him the ball or get to fuck. Yeah. So what's your solution to that? Rasmus Højlund, maybe won't win the league, but he certainly won't have you come in 9th. So how are you going to get him more shots? Answer them questions. I'm going to change the right back. I'm going to refunction the midfield. We're going to play. Tell me how you think it's going to happen. We'll sit here. Does that load of all cake, or is that real? Because if he goes, magic. Fuck him off. Right? Yeah. But if he actually has when this is happening, this is happening. When that's happening, this is happening. When we press here if it adds up, let's see. Yeah. You've got 12 months. He's there anyway. It's half his fucking team. If what he says adds up, give him the chance. If he can't answer them straightforward questions, like how's Rasmus Højlund getting more shots next year? Because literally, he might as well not fucking play some weeks. Yeah. If he can't answer that, then you can't keep him. Yeah. Like I said, it isn't his fault, but it is his responsibility.
Yeah, the solutions have to come through him on the playing level, don't they? I think, just sensible conversations where people who know football are talking to other people who know football and coming up with ideas and working out. Most of the top strikers of all time are the strikers who have taken the most shots of all time as well. Like Cristiano Ronaldo, I think, has had more shots than anyone in history. And his conversion rate isn't that good. He has 8 shots a game, 10 shots a game.
06, 07, it got good. I think it was 05, 06. You think Darwin Núñez is taking a lot of shots to score a goal now? It would have been funny watching Cristiano Ronaldo right now, because I'm pretty sure he scored every 11th shot. He would shoot from anywhere. He would cross the halfway line and go bang.
Bang. And I just think that, like you said, let's find some answers and let's have a proper conversation with people who know football, rather than sitting across from Ed Woodward or Richard Arnold or whatever, who literally couldn't tell you if what Ten Hag said made sense or not anyway.
You could have just pulled the rubber duck out and gone, and then have gone,
I like you. I don't know what you've got, but you've got something.
Bring me that new contract?
Yes.
There you go.
So, do you believe then, even if we take Ten Hag out of this as a sort of, he's just a person in a role, do you like where United or how United will be able to deal with this with the people we've got there? Are you more confident now that if Ten Hag does go,
than ever
the next guy can be successful?
I think it might be too soon.
Yeah.
Like I said, I still think Wilcox is doing his fucking induction and getting signatures around the building so people know who he is, shaking hands and fucking kissing babies and getting photocopier IDs and stuff. So, will we see any results of him? Oh, mate, probably not. Now, there's some talk that when this was all decided back in, was it November?
December it was announced, but sort of Christmas time was when I
think conversations have been happening with some of the people that are now either here or on the way since about November, December. So you would expect that they've got quite formulated plans within their minds. And I'm sure their WhatsApp groups are fire at the moment. I would imagine that they're just...
That'd be fantastic to get in on that, wouldn't it?
Oh my good God, yeah. Please add me. Yeah. I'll just lurk.
I won't say anything.
3 or 4 dick pics a week maximum, right? And they'll be well lit, right? So I think if you had the conversations that they're going on...
Yeah.
They may have already convinced themselves he is or he isn't. They may have already decided that this is the case. The timing of this fucking switcheroo with Bayern Munich, weird.
Yeah.
United are interested in Tommy Tickles. Oh yeah, Bayern Munich are interested in Ten Hag. What the fuck sort of preschool shit is this?
That is weird.
That's mine. Well, that's mine.
Swap you.
Yeah. Weird. Just weird. And the timing's weird. The timing is also weird that Ajax have put him on a shortlist. Do these fuckers know something we don't? Probably a lot. But
or is that Ten Hag's team PR showing Man United and Man United fans how wanted he is, so we want him?
Well, some talk his team are a bit of a busy set of bastards, isn't they? So, who knows?
Right. Let us know your thoughts at home. What has gone wrong under Ten Hag? Is it too late? A lot. We've gone through some of it there. What have we missed? What are we overlooking?
And next time we will get into them fucking IT department.
Yeah, we're gonna get some pictures from that IT department and look at how many monster cans there are resting on top of Apple Macs. That's going to be all from us. Thank you, Steve, for joining us. Thank you for joining us at home. This is a look at what has gone wrong under Erik Ten Hag at Manchester United. We'll see you in a bit.